Hello everybody, and welcome back to another session on Python programming. We're discussing concept of functions. In the last session, we looked at some default arguments. Then we also explored concept of ARGS, arbitrary number of arguments. And today we're going to go ahead with KW-ARGS. The KW stands for keyword and ARGS arguments. But then with the two asterisk marks at the beginning, they become arbitrary number of keyword arguments. So let's quickly explore this particular concept. So what we're going to explore today is arbitrary keyword argument. That's a dictionary. So this KW is nothing but a keyword. It allows us to pass the variable length of keyword arguments to the function. Okay. It allows us to pass variable length of keyword arguments to a function. But there are certain rules that we'll have to keep in mind. That is something that we're going to focus today. The arguments are passed as a dictionary. Yesterday, when we talked about ARGS, what are they passed as?
Tuple.
Tuple. Very good. They are passed as a tuple. Whereas KW-ARGS will be passed as a dictionary. Whereas dictionary has key value combination. And this argument makes a dictionary inside a function with the same name as the parameter, excluding the double asterisk. That means if I say star my dick, so in that case, the star will be ignored automatically and a my dick dictionary will get created. So in Python, we can pass variable number of arguments to a function using special symbols. There are two special symbols, star ARGS for non-keyword arguments and star KW-ARGS for keyword arguments. We use star ARGS and star KW-ARGS as an argument when we are unsure about number of arguments that we are supposed to pass. This is number of non-keyword arguments and this is number of keyword arguments. But the point is, when we are not sure as to how many such arguments are to be passed, then we go ahead with these kind of features. Defined via KW-ARGS construct, it passes an undetermined series of named argument to a function. Undetermined means we do not know. The function body, in the function body, KW-ARGS will be a dictionary of the past named arguments that will not have been caught by other keyword arguments in the function signature. So if I define such a function, say def function keyword ARGS, whatever it is, star KW-ARGS, and I'm going to print them. So while I'm giving a call, suppose if I say key equal to 10, comma key 2 equal to 4, this key 1, key 2 will now become the keyword arguments or the elements or the items of the dictionary. So when I print this, it will print it as a dictionary where key 2 is the foo, value is the foo, key 1 is the key, and 10 is the value. Order doesn't matter, but that's how it will be received. If you want to return just a key value, we can use items method. That's the dictionary methods, correct? So items is a method from dictionary that gives you key value. So likewise, you could use them together as well. But let's talk about using them together later because there are some rules. Let's first have a look at this demonstration. This is what we had discussed yesterday. Let's take the next one. Let's understand the basic concept first. I have a function bars. This bars takes in keyword arguments, arbitrary number of keyword arguments. And I'm going to print the type of KW-ARGS and I'm going to print what that it has. So I'm going to print KW-ARGS and the number of arguments is nothing but length. I'm just going to try and explore what these arguments are all about. So this function is ready in the memory. And now if I give a call, let us hide the rest of the code so that we can focus on what we really want. So here I give a call now saying bars 1, 2. So this is one pair key value. This is another pair key value. This is being passed to a function bars where we have only one argument kwrjs. But that's taken as a dictionary which will be initialized with the values, key values that we pass from here. So when I give a call over here, look at this. When I execute this statement, it says there are two arguments. Number of arguments are 2. Ek 1 hai with 1 and ek 2 hai with 2 and so on. I could just, instead of this, I could just say /n. So that would be more better way to do it. Let's define it once again and let's run this code once again. So if I run this code, it says, okay, KWRJS type kya hai? So it's a dictionary. So here I said type of KWRJS, that's a dictionary. What are the data inside it? Oh, this is the data inside it. That's the 1 and 2 have now become the items of the dictionary, and number of arguments passed is 2. Actually, what I should have done is I should have changed the order, isn't it? You should first specify how many arguments have been passed. So we're saying number of arguments, the number of arguments passed is 2. And then I could have said /n. What are those arguments? Okay, so these are the arguments that we have passed. Includes / okay, sure. Okay, here is the issue. Okay, I just changed the order in which it is being printed. Let the number be printed first. So again, the number of arguments 2 hai, aur kaun se hai? 1 and 2. These are the two arguments which are there. Point to be noted is we are passing two different keyword arguments. They are received over here as a dictionary just because of the ***. You have to ignore the *** later. When I had to print all the arguments, I just said ARJS. Or I could write one more print statement just to print it separately so that you can also focus on that. Or I could keep it this way so that we can focus on it, correct? So ये पहला है number of arguments और दूसरे आपके what are the keywords, data. Let's say keyword arguments. Let's say it this way, keyword arguments. That's my function, and here is where I execute it. To get the keyword argument. Kya hua? Okay, that's again an F string. These are mistakes that we do at times. Here we go, and we run the code once again. We got it. Number of arguments 2 hai. Keyword argument kaun se hai? So A1 and 2. That's actually a dictionary that has got printed. I could also create a dictionary saying B is equal to 1 is 11 and 2 is 22. I could create a dictionary. But then if I have to pass a dictionary, I'll have to get the values inside the dictionary. So a double star, like what we had done with a list or a tuple, we say put a single star to explore and get the contents inside it. With the dictionary, we put 2 stars. Again, the same thing. 1 is 11 and 2 is 22. Now, suppose if I have created a dictionary using dict. Here I am using this. Here I create dictionary using a function called dict. That's still the same thing. How does it matter how you create a dictionary? At the end of the day, you're not passing dictionary, you're passing the contents of the dictionary. That's the keywords is what we are passing. Now, if I have a dictionary of the PM, that's the prime ministers. India is Modi, Pakistan is Sharif, Nepal is Deva, I think Prachanda. So the Nepali prime minister always keeps on changing. Okay, so here we have a dictionary in which we have key values, key string, values also kind of string. So we have such a dictionary which is there. And if I pass this dictionary, it will still work correctly for us. Okay, what PM not defined? Let's define it. We are here. We execute the statement. Now we go ahead executing this once again. Okay, here we go. India Modi, Pakistan Sharif, Nepal Prachanda, and so on. Number of arguments are 3. Now we have done this. Let's jump on to the next function. So here, for some reason, we want to print the argument. So I say arguments, KWRJS, data type of the argument. Oh, it's exactly the same what we did earlier. So nothing new to learn. So I'll just quickly run through that particular code. And I say argument, country India, capital New Delhi. Country and capital is what I'm passing. No worries. Kya kehta hai? Incomplete input. Okay, I mistakenly, let's run this. incomplete input. Why incomplete input? Okay, let's give the call on the same line. And now let's see what happens. Here you go. Date type is dictionary and argument that you have passed is Indian capital. It's exactly the same thing. Now I have a tuple that I have created, or yeah, intro is a tuple. In this tuple, I have some key values. Intro is a tuple. So let's look at this intro first and let's check out what this type of intro is. So intro is not defined, it says. So intro is a function that we have over here. So here is a function that I have. Inside this function, I say for key value in kwrjs.items. I no longer want to print it in this fashion. So I say key value, that's how it will be assigned. Every item will be assigned. I'm saying keyword.items, and every time I'm going to print the key and the value. So intro is a function that we have now defined. Now, since intro is a function, I give a call to this function over here. It will print all the data. It says first name is Sita, last name is Patil, age is 22, phone number is so-and-so. How? Keys value is what I said. Likewise, I create another function called as intro, another call. This is a function call. It says name is Jay, last name is Sharma, email is Jay, country Sri Lanka, age is 25, phone number is so-and-so. You can pass as many number of key value combinations you would like to have. I have a dictionary in which Jay, Sharma, all these things are there. So if I have a dictionary, I could pass a dictionary as well. And these are all the details inside the dictionary. I could very well pass the dictionary to get these details. That's the beauty of using keyword arguments. Have you all understood this? Quick feedback. समझ में आया नहीं आया? Any query? राहुल क्या डाउट है? I shared the file. Have you all received the program?
Yes, sir.
Now that you have received the program, let's move ahead. Let's take one more example of this keyword arguments. Now we'll be exploring some rules which are there, and later I'll give you an assignment to solve. Let's now focus on some rules. Now, even before we discuss the rules or see a demonstration for the rules, let's review the rules first. एक बार rules क्या है देख लेते हैं. Here we go. What are the rules? Let's explore. If you wanted to return just a key value, we use item over this way done. Now, if I am going to use the non-keyword arbitrary number of arguments and keyword arbitrary number of arguments together, what does the rule say? ARGs and KWRGs can be used together in a function. ARGs always coming before KWRGs. So it is a must that your arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments should come before the arbitrary number of keyword arguments. If there are any other required arguments, they are also coming before ARGs and KWRGs. That means the positional arguments first, then ARGs, and then KWRGs. So if I say ARGs and KWRGs, perfect. If I say positional argument like my ARGs, then ARGs, and then KWRGs, okay. You may have multiple positional arguments, then ARGs, and then KWRGs, that's also okay. Rule kya hai? ARGs has to come before KWRGs, and positional arguments have to come before ARGs. So that's the rule that's there. Now to check out on this rule, let's take a simple example. Here we go. I have a function 1 in which I have a required argument. I have the ARGs, and then I have KWRGs, arbitrary number of keyword arguments and non-keyword arguments. And I'm going to print. So while I'm going to print the details, required arguments, then arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments, arbitrary number of keyword arguments. I'm going to print all of that. Let me hide the rest of the code so that we can focus on what we are looking at. So that was a perfectly right kind of statement. I give a call to function. I did not pass any argument, func1, and I'm not passing any argument. Ek required argument chahiye, and you are not passing any argument in the first call. So that will generate an error. Okay, I'm missing one required positional argument. तो यहाँ एरर है. ये एरर है. I pass one required positional argument. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, ARGS and KWRGS, all of them are optional. So this is perfectly fine. So only one argument that has got printed. Look at this. Required argument is 11. Arbitrary number of keyword arguments is an empty tuple. Arbitrary number of keyword arguments is an empty dictionary. So even though we have not passed the ARGS and KWRGS, they have been taken as empty tuple and empty dictionary since we did not pass anything. Now I pass func1 and I pass 11 and 22. 11 will be a required argument and 22 will become the non-keyword arbitrary number of arguments. Let's give the third call. Here we go. Look at this. 11 is over here and 22 becomes a single element of a tuple. Now next call, I pass 11, 22, 30, 23. So 22, 23 will now become the ARGS. Okay, ARGS 22, 23. While dictionary is still empty, keyword arguments are still empty. Now in the next line, line number 38, I pass 11. These are arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments, and these are two keyword arguments, arbitrary number of keyword arguments. Now all the parameters will have some values. Look at that. 11 is a positional argument. 22, 33, 44 are your non-keyword arguments, arbitrary number, and this becomes your keyword arguments, arbitrary number. I use a tuple and I get the values inside the tuple by putting star. Likewise, I could do it for the dictionary as well. Suppose if I take this as a dictionary, I could put a star over here as well.
Sir, bracket.
Pardon?
Bracket at the end.
डाला ब्रैकेट.
सर वो निकालना होगा ना?
नहीं तो.
टपल वाला?
नहीं, this is for the function call.
Okay.
What went wrong? So it has not initialized it as a dictionary, looks like. Okay. If I'm initializing in this fashion, let me say one, so this, and this. Undefined name one. Okay. Let us pass a dictionary separately. Okay, let's do that later. So here we get rid of this. We also get rid of this. अब क्या issue है? Round bracket चाहिए. Here. Then I'll create a dictionary separately and pass. So I have function one. This is the positional argument. These are arbitrary number of required arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments, and these are arbitrary number of keyword arguments. So if I run this particular code, everything perfect. 11, these three, and this. So what we'll do is we'll create a dictionary like what we had done earlier over here. So let us have one dictionary. So I have a dictionary D. Dictionary is D, and let's pass a dictionary and tuple because we have T is equal to these elements from the tuple. So we have one dictionary and one tuple, and I give a call to function. And I pass 11, I pass star T, comma, star D. Okay, it's generating an error, invalid syntax. So it's not allowing us to pass the dictionary, strange. Or was it because of the brackets? Okay, this was okay, comma, star D. So that's also okay. So I think there was some bracket problem, nothing more. So I say star, it's a tuple. To get the values inside the tuple, I have one asterisk. To get the values inside the dictionary, two asterisk. Now I give a call on line number 42 to this particular function fun1. Let's see. T is not defined. Okay, let us define these two. We did not define these two. Yeah, define kar diya. Now when we give a call, it works. 11, 22 so and so, 1, 2, and so and so. So it's working. So you may pass a dictionary, a tuple. Dictionary will be taken as keyword argument. ARGS tuple will be taken as an ARGS, and required arguments are compulsory. Okay, let's look at another function, function 2. It says if there are two required arguments, एक required है, दूसरा required है, then KRGS and KWRGS. That's your choice. You have two required arguments. It's just the syntax that we are going to check now. All the required position arguments will appear before the arbitrary number of arguments, which appear before the arbitrary number of keyword arguments. So I give a call to function 2, that would generate an error. Two required arguments are missing. Second call, that would also generate an error because two arguments are required and you have passed only one. Now we pass to function 2 is 11 and 22 is what we do. So when I pass function 2, okay, a function 2 हम लोग यहाँ pass कर रहे, call कर रहे, that's a successful call. When I pass 3 values, that's also a successful call. When I pass this, that's also a successful call. All these calls are successful. We could have printed the data like what we had done over here. ऐसा data इसके अंदर भी print कर सकते थे, just to for us to understand what is being printed. ऐसा यहाँ भी कर सकते थे. ऐसा थोड़ा चेंज करते हैं. अगर ये फंक्शन 2 होता तो ये फंक्शन, ये फर्स्ट 2 कॉल्स आर इनकरेक्ट, थर्ड कॉल इज करेक्ट. थर्ड कॉल में क्या है, 11 11 आर योर, सिंस आई एम पासिंग 11 11 11 11 दो बार कैसे आ गया, फिर ऐसे रिक्वायर्ड 1 अगेन, आई शुड से रिक्वायर्ड 2 2 कहना चाहिए था. That's our function. ये function third call is correct. तो ये कहता है 11 and 22 two positional arguments which are compulsory, empty non keyword arbitrary number of arguments, that's a tuple, and a dictionary which is a keyword argument, arbitrary number, that's a tuple. So next I give a call on line number 51. Look at that. The first 2 becomes the required argument, next becomes the value of the tuple, dictionary is empty. If I give the next call, line number 52, 11 and 22 are the required arguments, 33, 44 becomes the arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments, dictionary is still empty. In the last case, you will also get the dictionary. Dictionary, that's a required number of arbitrary number of keyword arguments. Now, I have another function that I defined. Required arguments. Okay, one required argument. So ये one required argument है, ये हमने देखा है, तो there is nothing much to do. The only thing that I'm doing over here is required argument is printed first. If ARGS, then I'm going to print ARGS, and if KRGS, then I'm going to print KRGS. That means if I have passed the arguments, I'll print. Here, what is happening? Even if it is empty, it is getting printed. I don't want that, so I'm just saying if ARGS. That means if it is not null. So that is the only small change that we have brought about. If it is not null, is what we actually checking. Not none होता है इसमें. So I pass only the required argument. So only required argument will get printed. I pass required argument and 3 arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments. When I do that, look at that. ये तीनों values print हो चुके हैं. But ये 3 print करने के लिए first should have been the required argument. Let me see why did it not print required arguments. We are here. We are on the line number 55. और एक बार run करते हैं. It says required argument. We are at this line, and we print आ गया. It says required argument and then ARGS. And the third call that I gave, required argument, arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments and the keyword arguments. I have passed everything. So when I run this particular, let's select this and run. When I select this and I run this particular code, it gives you everything. Required arguments, ARGS and KWRGS, everything has got printed. So that's basically what we need to know about arbitrary number of keyword arguments. Any questions anyway? Have you understood this? Since there are no questions, let me share this file with you all. So that's the second example that we've taken for ARGS. Now a small assignment for you. Write a function get pass student list. Write a function called get pass student list. फंक्शन का नाम है get pass student list. Which takes the cutoff percentage marks as one of its argument, which takes cutoff percentage marks as one of its arguments, cutoff percentage marks as one of its argument, and the name and percentage marks of several students as additional arguments. And names and percentage marks of several students as its additional arguments. Arguments and returns the list of student names whose percentage marks are greater than or equal to the cutoff percentage. Percentage marks are greater than or equal to the cutoff percentage. Okay. So I put you into breakout room, discuss or solve karo. All of you together. Join the rooms, please.
Sir, can you add me?
The thing that you did was good, was better than what I've done is you have taken appropriate names for variables. Instead of saying KWRGS, you have said student data. That was good. Then the path. Now there is no necessity that your name of the variable over here and name of the variable over here has to be same. There is no such necessity. The good thing that you have done was you have taken this as a constant. That was a very good thing that you have done. And if cutoff percentage was 35%, whatever it is, you had defined it as final. So there are some good things that you did. So you had said import typing, and then you had defined this as constant. I could give it any name, cutoff percentage colon. You have defined it, and this cutoff percentage is what I'm going to pass over here. And then I could pass a dictionary, or I could pass key values, arbitrary number of keyword arguments to print the list. Now here you received the cutoff, and here this KWRGS was nothing but your student data. But there is one big mistake that you all have done. Let me tell you what is that big mistake that you all have done. You are saying this particular function returns a string. It doesn't return a string, it returns a list. So that is another change that you do. It did not return string, it returned list. This cutoff percentage was of type integer. So we could actually specify the date type, nothing more than that. What you're trying to do here was something which was totally wrong. You're saying student data, bracket name and percentage. You don't really have to worry about what is that going to be passed. Then other mistake that you created over here is data. Other, if you iterate through a dictionary, it will give those key value combination. But that is item, dict item. So if you remember that concept of dict item, it will return you one after another dict items. So if I say items, then we'll give that key value combination, which will be unpacked. This will be unpacked over here. The star that you're doing while giving a call, that's also concept of unpacking. And then you could check mark, you could cut off percentage, agar hai to usko list ko append kar liya. All those things you did it right. Okay, all those things were right. There's nothing wrong. So, but the point was some unnecessary stuff that you're doing over here. Okay, the function returns list, not an integer, and rest was okay. Rest was okay. So if I have to do it in a proper way, I could just say string like what you have done, the names of the students scoring more than cutoff percentage are
सर जॉइन के अंदर कर्ली बेसिस देना पड़ेगा ना पास लिस्ट
unterminated string, a quotes वाला string रहेगा सिर्फ और कुछ नहीं. You just have to play around. If I run this particular code, it says name of the student scoring more than the cutoff percentage, Anil Sunil Leela. There were other things. Names of the students scoring more than the cutoff percentage are Anil, Sunil, Lila. Why print a list? I just wanted to have names. Anil, Sunil, this. If I wanted each of them to be printed on the next line, I could have just said /n, this. /n, this. New line का क्या करें? We'll check it out later. But yeah, names of the student. Anil, Sunil, Lila. So these are small cosmetic changes that are done. Things that you did not write was, it doesn't return a string, it returns a list. The return type यहाँ list चाहिए था, string नहीं चाहिए था. But rest, I am happy that you could at least complete the code with almost taking into consideration. But I wonder why were you troubled over here? Who gave you that idea of saying student comma percentage? कब हमने कौन से डिक्शनरी के डिक्लेरेशन में लिखा था student comma percentage? ARGS जहाँ हमने डिक्लेयर किया, where did I write after ARGS what is the data that I'm going to pass? You never have to pass it. This is called as annotation or giving some additional information on the parameter. And what information can we give about the parameter? What is the date type? So if student data is this, I could at the most say what is the date type? इसका date type क्या है? I could just say it's a dictionary probably. That's it. So a integer and this is a dictionary that I'm going to have. That's at most what I can say. I can only pass information of the data type, nothing more than that. So since this is a keyword arguments, you don't have to do anything. Arbitrary number of keyword arguments, you don't have to specify anything. The star itself is indicative. Cutoff was integer or float, whatever you would like to have, take it. Avoid using float because float comparisons are risky. Better take it as integer. Also ensure that when user passes cutoff percentage, check for you have not done the validation. You could have done the validation saying cutoff that you have been passed, is it of type integer and so on. And those validations could have been done here. Those validations could have been done. So that's how you should have solved. I'm just sharing that example with you all. But I'm happy with all of you because most of you contributed, except for Harsh contribute nahi kar raha tha. Harsh, what happened? You did not speak a single word.
नहीं सर ऐसा
हाँ, ऐसा क्यों नहीं? फिर मैंने आपको कहने के बाद भी आपने एक बार कुछ नहीं कहा. That was not good. One has to participate and discuss. अगर भले ये लोग गलत बात कर रहे थे, there are some ideas which are very wrong. But then we saw Viraj saying that I don't remember what is to be passed over there. That's also okay. But participation करना जरूरी है. You cannot just sit idle and watch what others are doing.
Sorry sir.
Okay. So what we'll do is give me 5 more minutes. We'll just finish with all the concept of passing arguments. So tomorrow we can start with another topic. The last.
So can you, sir, can you share the first two files? Actually, I missed one.
Sharing it once again.
The example codes, the first two codes that we discussed today.
मैं आज डिस्कस किए सारे एग्जांपल शेयर कर रहा हूँ.
Okay.
दोबारा शेयर किया all of them. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, let's quickly cover up 2 more aspects. Okay, the next one that I plan to discuss is keyword only argument. Syntactically, keyword only arguments are coded as name argument and are named argument and may appear after ARGS in the argument list. That means keyword only. Yeah? All such argument must be passed using keyword syntax in the call. That means if I have to give a call, there is a special syntax that I had to use to specify these are keyword arguments only, nothing else. And they will be passed after *ARGS. That means after arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments. So let's see the example for this. And also another thing like positional only arguments. So we have keyword only arguments, we have positional only arguments. In 3.8 function, parameters can also be declared position only, meaning the corresponding arguments must be supplied positionally and can't be specified by keyword. So while these were keyword only arguments, we have positional only arguments. To designate some parameters as position only, you specify a bare slash in the parameter list of the function definition. Any parameter to the left of the slash must be specified only positionally. So if you look at this slash that has been put across over here, all the things that comes before the slash are positional only, and x, y positional only hai, z can be positional or z can be keyword. So 1, 2, 3, 5 pass, that's perfectly all right. If I have 1, 2 and z is equal to 3, that's also okay. But if I say x equal to 1, y equal to 2, that means we are passing the first two arguments as keyword arguments, it will generate an error because x and y are positional only arguments. So let me give a running example of the same. And then next session, we'll talk about what is that concept of name, what is docstring, how do you return multiple values, what are local variables, global variables. There is a lot to be discussed in functions. Very, very interesting topic. Okay, let's quickly look at position only and keyword only. Look at this now. I say A, that's positional argument. I say star B, that's ARGS. And then I put some argument. This may appear to you as if it's a positional argument. That's not the case. Syntactically, keyword arguments are coded as named arguments that may appear after ARGS in the parameter list. We said ARGS should always appear before arbitrary number of keyword arguments. That's okay. But A jo Z hai, now that's keyword only argument. So Z becomes keyword. All such arguments must be passed during keyword syntax in the call. Means I am going to print value of A, B, and C. Yeah? A keyword argument kaun sa hai? Only keyword C is the only keyword argument. Let's have a proof of it. If I run this particular code, if I give a first call 1, 4, so 1 is assigned to A, 4 is assigned to star B, and then I have one tuple that has been passed to C. So what happens when I give such a call? If I'm giving such a call, it generates an error. Missing one required keyword only argument C. That means the third argument has to be keyword argument, and what we have passed is a single tuple. That's not a keyword argument. If I pass 1, 2, 3, that will also generate an error. I required one positional keyword argument C is missing. Then if I give this line number 20 pe call, this is the keyword argument, positional argument. 2 is the arbitrary number of keyword, arbitrary number of positional argument, C equal to 10. That's keyword argument. So this statement will work correctly now. So it works correctly. A, this is arbitrary number of positional argument and a keyword argument. Now look at the next call. I pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them will become ARGS. That's your star B. And this C equal to 10 is the third argument, which is keyword only argument है. Compulsory आपको यहाँ keyword ही pass करना होगा. देखिए ये C आ गया, C equal to 10. The rest is ARGS. ये आपका ARGS था. Then I give a next call. I say A equal to 1, C equal to 3. Oh, A equal to 1, if I say A has required argument है, we can pass it by position. A ARGs है, we did not pass anything, and a keyword argument है. So what happens over here? And ARGs are optional. So that's okay. ARGs is optional. Empty tuple ho gaya. Then I pass 1 that will be assigned to A. I pass a tuple that will be assigned to B. But then if I'm trying to pass a tuple to B, let's see what happens. And then C is equal to 3 is what I'm passing. If I'm trying doing that, I have a tuple which contains a single tuple. No. I wanted to pass these two or elements inside this tuple. Put a star. So we'll unpack that particular tuple. So it will work correctly. A tuple unpack hua. और ये C आ गया third position. These are position keyword only argument. So any argument that appears after ARGS, and if it's not followed by KWRGS, that keyword star KWRGS, So in that case, it becomes keyword only argument. So any argument or any parameter that has been defined after ARGS, arbitrary number of position argument, whatever has any variable name that comes over here is keyword only argument. That means while giving a call to that function, the third argument I have to pass it as keyword only argument. There is no other choice to be done. Have you understood this? Yes, no,
Sir, it's only if the case is if you have not passed double star keyword, then only it will be only keyword, no?
No. Any argument that is after ARGS, any parameter that is after ARGS, if it is not star KWRGS, then
Yes,
it
sir.
becomes keyword only argument.
Okay.
शंतनु क्या डाउट है? Shantanu, what's the query?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's look at positional only argument. Now, if I say X, Y, Z, and I've done proper annotation saying all of them are of type integer, the function returns nothing. So all of them are required arguments. All are required positional arguments. Required hai or positional bhi hai, all of them compulsory. If I run this particular function, if I give a call to this function foo, 3 argument pass kare, perfectly okay. All of them are positional. I pass positional argument as they are all required argument, correct? If I pass them as keyword argument, that's also okay. That's also okay. Then I have another function called as bars. I have X, Y, then I say /Z. That means the first 2 arguments are positional only, and third will be any parameter that appears before slash is a parameter list of positional only argument. That means these first 2 are positional only. That means there is no way we can pass them as keyword argument. Here we could pass X, Y also as keyword arguments. So let's run this particular code and see. So I define this particular function, keep it ready in the memory. I give a call to this function bars this time around. I pass 11, 22, 33. Okay. The first 2 are positional only argument. That's okay. Z keyword bhi ho sakta hai, positional bhi ho sakta hai. So this call seems to be right. So I give a call, everything is perfect. Next I say 100, 2500, and this is keyword argument. Oh, that's okay. The first 2 are positional only, third can be keyword argument. And last call, I pass X and Y also as keyword argument. It will generate an error. They are positional only argument. That means for the first 2 arguments, we cannot give the keyword. It's positional only argument. How did we do that? Before the slash, whatever appears, all of them are positional only argument. This feature was introduced late in Python, recently in Python 3.8. Before that, this particular feature was not available in Python. And that concludes our discussion of function parameters. Last 4 days, we were discussing only function parameters, but it is a topic that was vast and you need to master it because very often you will be working with this kind of situation. So this is one example that I've shared and another example. So tomorrow when we meet, we can actually start off with another topic regarding functions itself. Then every program I've been saying, write name equal to main. So what is that? That is what we'll be discussing. Have you received these 2 files? Have you received
Yes,
these?
sir.
Okay. Any query regarding this position only and keyword only?
No, sir.
Any parameter that appears after arbitrary number of positional arguments, star ARGS के बाद में whatever appears, they are keyword only argument. Any parameter that appears before slash in the parameter list are positional only argument. That means while giving a call, you cannot pass the keyword. It's only position is what we can pass. So that was all about function calls. So we have concluded this topic. When we meet tomorrow, we go ahead more with the design options that are there. So that's the topic for tomorrow's discussion. Bit of theory, but we'll cover it up tomorrow. Some important thing, why should you write if name equal to main? What difference does it make? What is local variable? What is global variable? This kind of concepts you will come across in almost all languages, and how Python is different. So that is what I plan to discuss tomorrow when we meet. So thank you all for this session today. See you tomorrow. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.